but we'll just get some nice shots. That is so crazy. Ah, sweet coffee. So, super exciting one today. I am heading out to meet my pal, my old school pal, Andy Kirby. Now, Andy and I got into very similar things as kids. We both got into music around the same time. We both got into RC around the same time. And I haven't actually caught up with Andy. I haven't actually seen him for maybe 10 years. It's been a pretty long time. I didn't know that he had a YouTube channel, and one of his videos came up in my feed. So I immediately got in touch with Andy. And if you don't know what Andy does, let me just quickly show you.
Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we're going to talk about my 1500 watt DIY e-bike.
Whoa! Nearly come off then. So as you can see from that, Andy still very much enjoying electric and brushless motors, but scaled up to some crazy levels with some crazy e-bikes. So when we chat over the phone and caught up, naturally we got onto the subject of racing drones, and Andy immediately wanted to know more about this. He's dabbled a little bit in the past, but he hasn't seen any of the latest stuff, and certainly not the new DJI system. And of course, one thing led to another. Fast e-bikes, fast racing drones, you know exactly what was going to happen. And if you want to see that full video, head over to Andy's channel and you'll see my reaction to the first time on his crazy e-bikes. It was just such a great collaboration. One thing Andy said to me is, do you have a push bike? And I said, yeah, I've been using it an awful lot. In fact, that's how I've been going out to the locations I go to fly my drones. My level of fitness is certainly going to dominate exactly how far away I can go. You probably guess where this is going. Andy said, put your bike into the car, bring it round to you, and I'm going to convert it to an e-bike. So today I'm very excited because we're going over to see how he's getting on with that conversion, and because we're hooking up more crazy shenanigans. You guys know I've been looking at these crazy high power torches recently. I said to him, well, while I'm there and we're going over in the towards the evening, why don't we go out for a night ride and maybe strap not one, not two, but perhaps three of these super high output torches to the front and see what that looks like. So let's head over there. Right, Andy, what on earth are you doing to my bike? I recognise those over there. Those were my wheels.
Didn't you want it just basically turbocharged?
Is that what's going on it? Right, just tell me what exactly this thing is here, because I've got a feeling this is some kind of power system.
That is probably your get out of jail card when you go out with the boys riding. This is the motor, and this will propel this thing to probably about 40 miles an hour.
Good lord.
Something like that.
Right, so how many watts are we talking here?
So this runs 1500 nominal, so 1500, so what, 6 times more than you're supposed to.
That's absolutely mental.
It peaks at about 2000 watts.
2000. And what sort of voltage do you need to chuck into something like this to get that kind of power out of it?
Well, this is a 52 volt setup. When that's fully charged, that would be nearly 60 volts fully charged.
60 volts.
And this fits on any bike, and this is why we're doing it to your one, because it's obviously the Carrera Kraken, which is quite a common bike.
Right.
So this motor wheel fits on any frame, give or take, you know.
So these are that's my original disc, if I remember correctly.
Original disc. that's about it. Everything else is.
Everything else had a little bit of adjustment, and then yeah, that's lining up really well. Considering this, I think this is I'm trying to remember how many years ago I got this. It's at least 2 or 3 years old, but it was a good one at the time.
Yeah.
With the, you know, it's got the hydraulic brakes on there and what have you, but it seems to be, you know, it's not quite in the league of. Let me see this. This was the one I rode last time I was here. My God, that thing was insane.
That's a little piece from the side, isn't it?
Yeah, and this was the Vapor, right?
This is a Vapor, yeah.
Yeah,
So this is a mid-drive. The motor isn't on the rear wheel like this one is. But
right, got you.
it's a slightly different setup, and it's running about 3,500 watts.
Wow.
So,
Well, I remember when I was on it, as we mentioned in the video, I never left that lowest gear. I stayed right there.
yeah.
And that had plenty of power for me. I didn't need to go any faster. That was absolutely incredible.
Normally, you won't get high speed on that gear because it's the same as if you're pedaling it, or your feet will just be going around like Roadrunner.
Right.
It won't be going anywhere. But because we've got a special speed controller with a thing called torque vectoring, which basically
that's this guy here, right? That's
yeah.
the speed controller. Right.
So this is actually running the same voltage as what your bike would be running. But this controller makes the RPM higher. So yeah, later on maybe it's something you could go down the route of putting this on, and yeah, you'd actually get even higher speeds on that.
Wowzers!
This is quite a new. Well, it's not new, but it's kind of like a what's kind of popular at the moment, as you know from your technology stuff that you do.
From all the other techie stuff, yeah, it doesn't stop moving.
No, it's always just going to keep getting better.
Yeah, well, this is gonna. I'm so excited for this. Horrible experience cycling up a massive hill yesterday, and I'm ready to have a little bit of help.
And you need to do all work in flip flops as well. It's
yeah,
the only way.
Standard engineer footwear.
With big spanners and things that can fall in your toe.
I think the highest pack I've got is probably for one of my helicopters, and that is a 6S 5 amp hour pack to run one of my big helicopters. Right, can you beat that?
Well, it's 24 volts, I suppose that is. About,
yeah,
isn't it,
that is, yeah.
Well, this one is 20 volts.
Look at the size of that.
Stick that on your drone. Like 84 volts fully charged, so you know you're going to get a bit of a bolt on there. And for anyone wondering why there's a tiny little connector on this, because it doesn't actually use a huge amount of current because the voltage is higher.
Right.
So you're getting quite a high amount of watts or power.
Yeah,
well, lower current. Right?
Volts up, amps down.
Exactly.
Just run me through. Obviously, well, I can see a little tiny red flashing light in there. So this thing on top, is this what do you call it in the e-bike world? Is it BMS?
BMS, yeah. It's a battery management system.
Right.
This is one that, well, I actually sell this now. It's a Bluetooth BMS, and it sits on top of this battery, and it monitors every single cell in here, or every series string of cells. So
right.
You've got 20S on there, so you can actually log into this on a smartphone and see the voltage of each cell. You can initiate balancing as well from there, and you can calibrate. You can actually set the balancing rate, like the discharge that you're going to equalise at. Give you a warning if you're going to discharge too much, pull too much current from it, and all the usual stuff like low voltage cut-offs and all of that sort of stuff. That will go there.
Right.
To replace the 52 volt battery in there.
Right.
And then you've just basically got more RPM, more power.
So how many watts is this thing going to have now if you put that kind of voltage through it?
With that, it will go up to over 4,000.
Right.
So at the moment it's about 3,000 and it'll be 4,000.
That's crazy. And of course I'm going to want to go. Let's talk about this guy, because I had a go on this guy. I could not believe the power this thing generated, and I was in setting 1 of 6, if I remember, and I was too scared to go any higher. Yeah. So what is this bike? So
this bike is a bike that we've marketed as the Kirby bike. It's called the Kirby bike, Andy Kirby. Basically, it's called the 5000S because it is a 5,000 watt e-bike. This is actually running more, of course. It would be.
I did notice.
Yeah. And yeah, this is running somewhere around 10 kilowatts, something like that.
Wow.
So, I mean, yeah, anything above 5,000 watts, you sort of call them kilowatts.
You did say, yeah, I was going to say, you did say kilowatts, right? That
yeah,
is just absolutely amazing. And this looks like pretty much everything on this looks incredibly premium.
Yeah, it's definitely taken a while to sort of do.
How much of that space is battery? I imagine quite a lot of it.
Yeah, I mean, basically you've got speed controller, which is around there.
Right.
You can have these mounted on the outside, but it doesn't remotely get warm at the power that it's running. So it goes in the bottom here. Batteries are about, I'd say, up to about there.
Right.
Something like that sort of area. So all of this width as well. It's a lovely wide frame. This you can fit so many batteries in.
Yeah.
And the rest of it really is, there's a BMS in there, battery management system in there.
Yeah.
The battery's pretty big because it's 25 amp hour, 84 volts.
Right.
Yes. You know, nearly 3 times as much capacity as that other battery we saw in there.
You did a whole thing on your channel, right, where you went through getting this road legal, which that was a process.
Yeah, process and a half. Yeah.
Hopefully in the future, as these green crazy adrenaline machines become more popular, which seems like something that's soaring anyway, hopefully that process might get a little bit easier. You never know in this country.
I built this quite a long time ago, so as time's gone on, there are manufacturers now that are kind of homologating, is that a word? They are basically prepared bikes already that can be put through the system. There's still the fun of making your own and kind of, you know, personalising it exactly the way you want it.
That thing has got so much pull. Jesus.
Jeez, that's well bright.